Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmas, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, hey, reliable information, history, talking about culture, hey, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of On Point. This is the second Sunday of the month of November.
December?
December, excuse me. You know, I use the Islamic calendar, so we're 100 years behind. I always got something for you, my man.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, guys, today is a great day to be here. We got to do some housekeeping. Today will be my last day for the year of 2025. I will be on vacation until the 21st of November. January. Excuse me.
Yeah, 65 years. Really kick in now, true.
Yeah, my man is rough. So. I will be back here. I will be, hopefully, if I have time, I will tune in from Liberia, but I will be in Liberia until January 22nd or so. So that will be a month. You're going to have a great time with Jimmy Eastman and Aliu and Dr. Booty and Joseph Tower and Mr. Patmore. But after you have worked for almost a year, sometimes it's just good to take some time off, spend some time with the family, visit the villages, and I will be doing a lot of work on the ground with Honorable Musa Hassan Bility while I'm on the ground. We'll be going, inspecting, working, meeting folks, going to the different counties. That's what CMC does. That's the commitment we have made. That's what we will do. But without further ado, we got a couple of things to discuss. Let me welcome all of our intellectuals here. Our diplomat, this guy confusing me. Why he keep falling off the screen?
I don't really know. I
haven't fallen off. I'm just trying to sort me out behind the scene. I can hear you, Mr.
Okay.
Yeah, but your camera is off.
No, I did that, because I needed to plug something in, and I didn't want to be moving about whilst I was doing that. Give me, you can't let something slide. So
no, nothing slide, but not about me. You know, I'm a CMC, but we look at everything. Anyway, our resident diplomat, Honorable Jimmy Eastman, welcome to the show, Chief.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here. I will see you later on in LIB, but for now, let's go to the issues.
Great. Further to the right or your left is Honorable J. Victor Nambe, the Secretary General of Global Secretary General of the CMC. Welcome, Honorable Nambe.
Hey, happy Sunday to you and to you all on set and also in Radio Line, I guess. It's a beautiful day for Eagles Nation. We are breathing a collective sigh of relief.
Yeah.
So yes,
Your buddy up north, Buffalo, did you a big favor, huh?
we seem to no well Buffalo did beat the Patriots of New England, but we shut out the Raiders today, 31-0. I hope it is the beginning of us rediscovering our mojo. And so we'll see next week we have another possible victory, the Commanders. So we're feeling pretty good. Our quarterback got a little bit shaken up, but QB1 is always going to be QB1. If you can bench over 250, even Tower ain't got nothing on you.
Nope.
600.
250.
That man a bench 600.
You're right.
250 is nothing.
Yes, Jimmy, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's good to be with you, Jerome. And talking about you going to do some work, absolutely. I'll be joining you sometime in January as well. So yeah, we're going to also, join our colleagues on the ground there and do some work, put in some work for the CMC. So yeah, these are pretty tested times for our country. So we're all going to do our part to make our contribution, but it's good to be here.
Thank you. And let me go across the pond. Dr. Fidel C.T. Booty, welcome to the show.
I wanted to turn my camera off just to make some fun while you were coming to me.
You see,
play the game, bro. Anyway,
you see,
but I just had an observation, man.
The people from the southeast, you can't pray. You even look at it, they won't fight.
I had an observation. Every time you and Mr. Nangwe are speaking, it can be hitting Aliyu Kamara. Maybe everybody here raise the other. So I beg you.
We just put one more wrinkle on your face.
Yeah. It amuses me every time I come on. But no, it's great to be here as always. I'm grateful to be here. Also, Mr. Gaiman, yes, he's been doing such a great job. It will be good to take some time off. Unfortunately, you're not really taking time off because you're going to be doing some good work back home. Congratulations to you. Thank you. Kudos for the effort. And also, I think Mr. Eastman and Mr. Nangbe are going to be joining you at some point. So, congratulations to all you guys for continuing to do good in our country so that we can all see it become a better place.
Great. Mr. Aliyu Kamara?
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I think the decision to carry both of you to Liberia was a very smart decision. I hope they keep both of you on air. They two people in the way they get a lot. You put it, you put it on the air. It will cause trouble in our country.
Wait, is that
small trouble will cause him Maria there?
Is that supposed to be complimentary or what? What are we supposed to do with that?
Listen,
but I follow the other propaganda. That compliment.
I can't argue with him, man. They made a Judah. He would cut people ear. You remember that time he cut? They said, oh, the United Party people cut somebody ear. He said, yeah, that's what happened when you don't listen to your uncle. They cut your ear. So, Victor, you stay away from this guy.
That trouble Musa carrying like Brussels. Trouble.
They gotta look at I'm not gonna duke in out with them in that play. We'll talk about that later today.
Excellent. Mr. Tao, welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Hi to my fellow panelists and to our viewers. I'm glad to be here. But look, every time we have this show and Victor Nangwe is introduced, his rank grow. One time he was just secretary, then he was general, now he's global. That's good. Correct. They keep growing. I like that.
The men are cool, man. Now what I do, Benny, man. What are you talking about?
Before he didn't own you, now he own you the whole globe. Anywhere you go.
I come and find all my e-pen and the black, the blue, the green, the red,
everything. Don't give me government grade at all.
Thank you very much. And right off the bat, I told you people from the southeast, they like to fight. Nothing happens. Victor Name have not said anything yet, and Sam Wallo have started to fight already. No, they didn't even call his name. I didn't even introduce him to say in the blue corner, no, in the green corner, weighing 201 pounds.
They make it to my locker room. He came to my locker room to start a fight.
Yeah, right. Keep begging on your locker room. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is another great day in Florida. It's 79 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, that's good.
Weather. We're having a great time. My Miami Dolphins, we thought they were done, but they are still in the hunt. If you are a New England Patriot fan, today was not a good day because
the Dolphins still gasping for breath.
Don't worry about it. You should talk about they keep putting the hurt on some guy named Hurts. You talk about it. The Baltimore Orioles, I don't know, not Orioles, the Ravens. I don't know how they doing, but I see the Ravens.
I think they made a comeback today.
I don't call it the generals. I don't call them so when
commanders.
The commanders, if you in the Washington D.C. Baltimore area, you got two teams.
Yeah.
If one is losing, you can go to the other side and say, I'm a Raven fan, but Raven fans have not done anything in the playoff. They do very well during the regular season, but in the playoff, I want to take off my hat to my Miami. The soccer team, we just won the U.S. title, and Messi was splendid as usual.
When we get into Liberia talk, Miami
This is the only panel I know don't like success. When people are succeeding, they get.
Oh no, they don't like it. They don't.
There's no grumpy.
These are all 1%ers. They all 1%ers.
It's a focus on Liberia. What Dolphin and Miami get to do it? I know we got Miami in Liberia, but I'm thinking out of Miami.
I'm glad you figured it out. Yeah, we got Miami in Liberia, so there's a connection there. We got South Beach in Miami, we got South Beach in Monrovia, so it's all connected. So that's what it is. Basketball team, we are doing well. Everybody is doing well. We are doing well, guys. The family is doing well as far as I'm concerned. So that's good. Good news coming out of Liberia. One thing I have to say about should I say about the opposition in Liberia and the present administration, we are not seeing opposition leaders or opposition people being hunted down.
Because you go in there now, so you want us to there now?
No.
Yet.
I was just there in February. The only time the politician they tried to hunt down was Musa Belede, and we put stop to that nonsense.
To hunt Musa Belede down a hard work?
Eh?
To hunt Musa Belede down a hard work.
Musa Belede is not afraid of you, neither the ear cutting people.
But why should he be afraid? Nobody cares for him like that.
Yeah, listen, anybody who cut somebody's ear, they gotta be afraid of you. But he's not afraid of you. We're right on Lugo ears. But let's get down to the show, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot going on in the Republic. We got the MCC scorecard, whatever that is. We got the health scare is going on there. We have this drug thing with this big Liberian superstar they call Bucket Raw. We're going to talk about the budget. The budget has passed They passed it midnight in the House. They passed the budget midnight. It's now headed to the Senate. What are we going to say? The MCC reaffirmed Liberia's second compact. What does that stand? What does Liberia stand to gain? So here we are. People are missing this thing when they say reaffirm. The people are saying the politicians, the propagandists, the Musa, the Aliu Kamara, and say, "Oh, we got a compact." No, we don't have a compact. We have been reaffirmed. Now we qualify to apply, and we have to put in place the mechanism as to what is it you're going to do with the money, how you're going to manage it. All of these things is the next phase of it. So we're going to delve into that. There's this brouhaha about health. The MOU that was just signed in Liberia. There were other countries that signed the MOU, and most of them are having second thought, and their Supreme Courts have gotten involved. What does it say about Liberia? We'll discuss. So let me start with, if you have not read the story about Mr. Bucket Raw, the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, LDEA, has moved to address growing confusion and speculation following a wave of social media posts suggesting that Liberian musician Kawuro Cole, better known as Bucket Raw, has been released from custody. The agency clarified that the reports are false and emphasized that the musician remains on an active investigation in connection to a search operation executed at his Dupo Road residence. The LDEA said the misinformation circulating online is misleading. He was arrested for possession of drugs. Bucket Raw and his PR team put up a news release and saying the government is basically trying to persecute him on his past life. He may have been once a drug dealer, but he had walked away from that lifestyle and no longer involved. So is Bucket Raw being hunted because he was a past bad man and he turned his life around there after him? The other political angle to that is people are now trying to make this Joseph Boakai versus Nimba County because this guy hailed from Nimba. So those who don't like Joseph Boakai trying to spin this as though Joseph Boakai is declaring war on Nimba County, which I find to be ridiculous. So let me start with our resident diplomat.
Mm-hmm.
On our Eastman, there have been two individuals, one by the name of Bernard Benson. Mm-hmm. Bernard Benson, DJ Bernard Benson, was deported from the United States and he went to Liberia. He continued doing his DJ thing and he was elected into the House of Representatives. When the budget was passed, Joseph Boakai introduced austerity measures that we need to cut some of the salaries of these folks. And Bernard Benson told the folks in the House, if anybody touches his salary and benefits, he would give that person Goa. Goa is the debilitating disease out of the Southeast, usually in the Kipamas area. They believe that when they throw it on you, or for some reason when you attract that, you are afflicted, your leg and your body swell until either you submit or you confess, and somebody with a medicine.
Mr. Gimmer.
Yes.
It's been 11 and a half minutes asking questions. Ask the one question on that.
Do you know Goa, Mr. Aliu Kamara?
No, you're answering the messenger, but some guy
you interrupted me. You are a funny guy. So, Jimmy.
Yeah.
This is the budget that we are talking about, but I'm bringing this into context. People who have prior past that have not converged onto the Republic of Liberia, they are now bringing our country into disrepute. This man is a drug dealer. He was arrested by the government. Then he's saying that they are going after him because of his past. His supporters are saying Joseph Boakai is trying to dishonor the Nimba County people. And another disgraced guy from the United States that left from here went home. He was lucky to be elected into the House. We are talking, Joseph Boakai is talking about austerity, cut down salaries and all. You say if anybody touches his salary, he's going to throw Goa on a person. What's in this budget? So much that these guys are willing to die for it.
Well, there's a lot of rumor being circulated, and the agency, the LDEA, has tried to, refute some of these claims. According to the agency, Officers acting on a court-sanctioned search and seizure warrant entered the artist's home at about 7 in the morning as part of this Operation Clean Wave. It's an ongoing nationwide operation targeting drug trafficking and related offenses. So it does appear that this administration is clamping down on drug and you know any operations with dealing with smuggling and the sale of contraband in the country. And we think we have to commend that because we do want to see our youth protected from this crisis, this disease, this sickness. So it is significant that the government does this. However, we do know that some of these things are popular with some celebrities and whatnot. And what I would like to see as a Liberian citizen is that the government shut down the sources of the drug coming in the country, not just the users and the distributors. I want to go to the sources. Let's stop the sources, and then we'll make significant progress into protecting our public from drug abuse. But this is a step in the right direction. It's as long as it's played out fairly, and the people are given their due process in court, then we commend this step. It's a step in the right direction, regardless of who gets snagged in the web. This is what we have to do if we're going to cut down drug abuse in the country.
Honorable Namwe, we have been all over the place talking about drugs. The administration is doing the right thing now. Doesn't matter who get busted, whether you are a celebrity, you are a judge, police officer. Once you are busted, you should face the full weight of the law.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, are they really doing the right thing? I think Jimmy makes a good point. These feel good stories, you go and bust somebody door down out of that. First of all, I think the points of entry should be of concern to us. How do these humongous, these huge quantities of drugs, get into the country? I think those are some of the questions we need to answer. Kui Fokpa, I believe that's his name. I don't think he works for the LDEA anymore, but he was a deputy director at the LDEA. He's on record accusing this government and higher ups in this government of being part and not just complicit, but part of the problem, the importation of drugs into this country. I've not heard one government official, nothing from the president. Nobody has come out to refute this man's allegations. And so every day we see these people that go and break those down and all of that. But the outrage that people are expressing is not that, Bucky Raw, whatever his name is, is arrested. And what the people are saying is the man was arrested and summarily released in a matter of minutes. Unlike many people who they will parade, and lock up for, days on end, hours on end. They think this man has been given preferential treatment. I think that's where the outrage is, and that they don't believe that he's being, he's facing justice like he should, and they think he's getting preferential treatment. I think this is what the outrage is. That's part of the outrage. But yeah, I think the point that Jimmy is making is where I am concerned. What is being done, to stamp out the continuous inflow of these drugs. I mean, time and again we say here how much support there isn't to the LDEA. I mean, the stories here we carry here of LDEA officers in Banga who are alleging they have to credit money from money changers to get on motorbike to go and and follow a lead. So take that and put it against a drug dealer who could be in possession of thousands and thousands of so much resources. Who do you think is going to win the day? So I think it's just a whole question of how serious this government is about you know attacking this problem. We seem to be winning every time there is a story. Then the winner out of this is almost always the perpetrator. And so but I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Buddy, there was the deputy, I think it was DEA czar, went on national TV at a press conference and said the drug issue in this country has permeated the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative branches of government. Everybody making money out of this. This was not a regular person. This was the deputy czar of the DEA. Said the executive, the judiciary branches, and the legislative body, they all got a hand inside. That's why this thing here is being fought superficially. The next day he was fired. I don't know. Hopefully he's still alive.
I think first of all, I keep paying attention to this Ali you mentioned today, and when Mr. Nambi was talking, he had this grin on his face, and I'm thinking, what is he saying that is funny, right? That you've got this big grin on your face, right? And I hope he can express that at some point. Look, I think I read something that one of the Fadiga brothers posted online, where he said that the amount of drugs that Bucky Raw was caught with wasn't enough for him to have been arrested. First and foremost, I'm just paraphrasing what I read, right, from one of the Fadiga brothers. And the reason he was released is because the law allowed for him to be released on bail for the amount of drugs that he had, right? Which is why he was released to his lawyer, right? But I think the bigger issue here, and I remember a few months ago, Mr. Gaiman, we talked about this when the president and many in Liberia wore black t-shirts and stuff, were all marching around, saying no to drugs and all that kind of nonsense, right? And we always say that, look, when you want to tackle drugs, it has to be a well thought out, holistic strategy. You can't just jump on and just do a knee jerk actions and think that it can solve the problem. There has to be a structured manner in which we are going after the guys who are bringing drugs into our country. I do believe, and obviously I don't have facts, but I do believe because of the evidence that I've seen here in the UK, and I'm sure some of you would have seen in the US, that the drug business always has governmental hands behind it. Right, they're always, we know that with the Contra and all of those things, Nicaragua and whatever, the CIA were involved in those kind of things. And here in the UK, there are government, agencies there behind these things, because at the end of the day, drug is used sometimes to control a population, right? They know that when people are high, they make bad decisions, and they can use those mistakes to arrest them, give them criminal records, and prevent them from being loud and challenging government. So we understand that. I think for the Liberian system, if it is happening, it's going to be more about money. Individuals want to get rich. They don't care who suffers. But this government and the president, if they're serious about fighting the drug issue, they need to put out a clear plan. Not only the DEA understands, but the security agencies can understand how they can support whatever strategy that the government has. I don't know. All we know, the president came to power. He went to somewhere to take drug tests. Obviously, you don't even know that if he took drugs, whether you'll be able to walk, we're not sure. So nobody expects you to be taking drugs, right? So that kind of show off that, oh, look at me, I'm not taking drugs. So everybody, look, in the UK, for example, the issue of drugs can be, especially the addiction, is classified as an illness. When someone is addicted to drugs, it's an illness, and it should be treated as a public health uh, 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 crisis, right? And the issues that we're having in Liberia, people are not looking at this as a public health crisis, and I think they should be. So you need to have the NFIL involved, the Ministry of Health involved, And that's what I'm saying. It has to be a holistic. But look, I don't think, again, based on what I read, there's anything wrong with what's happening with the Bucket situation. If the quantity he had merit him being arrested, then he was arrested. If what Fadiga is saying that it's a billable amount, then he was bailed out. And obviously he will go to court. He will have to answer questions. And if he's found guilty, go and serve his time.
Well, according to the LGEA, any drug charge in Liberia is not billable. According to the LGEA, so I don't know what he got. But are you something strange happened?
Mr. Give me 1 minute. Are they talking about dealers or are they talking about people who are recreationally using drugs? Right? Because sometimes it's different. It is a dealer, distributor.
I don't know. We have a recreational use drugs policy in Liberia. I don't know about it. From what we just read, the LGEA say when you are caught with drugs, it's non-billable. That's what I heard until you go to court. But Aliu,
yes, sir.
Here we are. We have a drug issue here. When the president were doing nothing, we all say the people doing nothing. Now this man say, yes, I have drugs, but you doing it because you know in the past I was a drug person. So you using my past against me. And this has split the country. I was shocked. Some very prominent friends of mine have now begun a crusade to say marijuana is non-addictive and people should not be arrested and all that. I was shocked. Aliu, does this guy have a point? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't think weed should be put in the category of one of them things that you can say non-billable. I really don't think so. I don't think it's that serious. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't take it. But I don't think somebody should go to jail for 10, 15, 20 years for taking a blunt. I don't believe that. The Bucket Raw guy, I don't know him, never heard of him. I'm in Liberia every year. I just got to know of him when I saw the video of people lining up and the pretty much protesting for his arrest, and I mean about his arrest. But look, the truth is, when the president recently dismissed the entire crew from the LDEA, I was a little skeptical, but this guy and his team, I guess the police training really kicked in, coupled with his passion to save Liberia. Mr. Gilman, this guy is doing marvelously well. I said this to Mr. Nangwe. Mr. Nangwe, 2029 is far. Man, you started swinging too early. You might get exhausted before 2029. Calm down a little bit. But look, they talk about the borders and blah, 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 blah. I heard all of that, and I heard the kind of suggestion that Mr. Ismail came up with. Bravo. But now this guy was able to determine the traffic of the drug. He pinpointed Sierra Leone and Guinea to be the country mostly bringing the drug in from the border. So what this guy did was he tightened the airport. He has done his best because the borders are porous. You cannot prevent Sierra Leone from entering Liberia. You cannot prevent Liberia from entering Sierra Leone. It's just not possible. Some places are just footprint, like the borderline right there. You understand? So it's a very, very difficult thing. But what he has done is he has increased his presence in those bordering cities. In Ivory Coast, from the Ivory Coast side, basically Grand Guinea and Maryland, he has enforced his strength over there. The quantity of drug coming in Liberia has dropped drastically. Evidenced by that, as anyone go in the street, take tabulation of how many Zogos are loitering in the streets of Monrovia compared to a couple of years ago. It's not the same. And I'm giving you honest conversation here. It's not the same. It's not going to happen overnight for a country that is unsophisticated, that cannot afford or do not have those kind of devices that they need, maybe dogs and all of that. But for the kind of work that this guy is doing, and the president has really put his foot down. You saw the amount of vehicles he gave these guys, a lot of vehicles. So these guys are not able to plow the Monrovia a Bow Waterside Highway 24/7, and almost every day, these
No,
guys
can I
are
have 5 seconds when he's done, please?
okay. Almost every day, these guys are catching people from Lufa, which they are crossing the border from both Guinea and Sierra Leone. Almost every day, these guys are catching people in Cape Palmas. Almost every day, these guys are leaving no stone unturned. I want to take this moment. In fact, even the thing he's talking about, public health issue, the government is not taking it as that. I ask you to follow this thing a little bit more. The government is building big rehabilitation centers as we speak. Darrell Dillon is also doing well. He's getting support from both the government and other NGOs. So work is on the way. Do we need to do more? Is there room to get better? I think they know that. DA knows that. The government actually knows that. But as it stands, if we continue on this trend, Liberia will be better off in the next 2 years.
Thank you. Yeah, 5 seconds.
Yeah, let me just quickly. I'm not about 2029, but I want first of all, Mr. Kamara is speaking in generalities. The president has given so many vehicles to Maryland. Well, but how many vehicles?
I didn't say Maryland, I said DA.
The amount of Zogo in the streets have reduced. By what quantity? But let me tell you this. Mr. Fadiga, who was an employee, one of the top 3 employees, is on record. About 20% of our young people are afflicted by addiction. 20% of 505 million is about 1 million. And I'm sure it's more than that. These are just the people who are directly afflicted. And what about the families that are affected by this? So when the multiplying effect, that a lot of people are suffering, Mr. Kamara. We don't have to wait for 2029. This is nothing to do with 2029. This is about the urgency, the fierce urgency of now. People are actually dying. So you go back and rework your numbers, come back and tell us the facts. Let's talk about them. But for now, 1 million of our people are suffering.
Mr. Given, did you hear that? 1 million Liberians are on drug. Do you believe that, Mr. Given, that you're mayor from the CMC?
Yeah,
wait a minute.
We quoting the United Party man.
I just gave you the receipt.
That's right.
1 million people on drug.
He's angry because the facts are too hard to believe. Anyway,
Who angry?
Aliyu, can you read this thing here?
Yeah, I can see it. 5 million people, out of 5 million, 1 million on drug. I mean, let's go ahead, man.
This person said that I was sure it's a CMC information.
Yeah, the way Mr. Nabo can flip everything around. If I'm talking that way, man.
Mr. Tao, the man the drug is so wide.
John Conaway, all right, Chief, I hear you.
That Wallow other name that he other stuff. Tao, are you the guy saying the marijuana is not addictive, so they shouldn't arrest anybody? And it looks like the whole of Monrovia. They're lining up behind this thing. They should not this. I mean, I was surprised to see some of the names on that list.
Yeah, for me, this is how I look at it, though. I mean, some of the things that the other panelists said, I may lean in that direction. Yes, the drug issue is a major issue that really need to be tackled, and in any kind of way that steps can be taken to reduce or at least discourage people is accepted. But what is the clear drug policy? Like what is the program that is laid out on a holistic level? They talk about the borders though, but I want to believe a lot of the drugs that were coming in is not just through those borders. I want to believe just a little bit coming through those borders. The drug cartel or whoever, do you know how far the footpath that they're talking about, other than like the main entrances like Ganta and all those places, for them to come through some forest, all the way through Nema, coming through the mountain, all the way into Guinea and then into Nema, or through. So very little is coming from those places. A lot of it is coming through the major port of entry like Rawalsfield and Freeport. And then this will bring us to the point where, yes, that it seems to be true that government officials and people in higher ups are involved. Just like here. The whole drug stuff, they say war on drug, we know that it's just a fiasco. they use that for them to move more money, and then they still bring the drug in. So that's what we have in Liberia. Bucket Raw, wherever drug is, they should go in there and discourage people and arrest people. But the way I see it is that for him to be free, I read the stuff and they said 30 grams. Yes, it's still drugs, but I don't know what the drug law of Liberia say. That what quantity and what type of, if you're just a user, should you be kept in jail indefinitely? If somebody passed that kind of law, do we even have the housing capacity to hold that many people? And if we do that, is that really going to solve the problem, or go after the actual nest of it and how it's coming in? So for me, that is how I see it. But the government need to really come up with a real drug policy that is holistic. But I said this here again, and I will say it again. No matter what type of policy the government come up with, if they cannot solve the economic issues in the country, if they cannot invest, if they don't cut down those salaries to put 98% and give it to themselves, and invest in industries and infrastructure so that they can be able to encourage the youth, give them something to hope for. It doesn't matter what plan you put in place. I'm here in the US. A place could be very bad. I was in New Orleans, and New Orleans was very bad. All they had to do was to just increase the economic output in one area, build facilities, create a job, build trainings and stuff for the kids, have somewhere where they could be absorbed for them to go to work. And guess what? That whole neighborhood, everything turned around. So they keep trying to ignore the economy. The economy is a very important part of fighting this drug. Look at all of the youth. I go to Liberia within 5 minutes. If there is an accident or two people yelling on the street, almost 400-500 young men show up from out of nowhere because they are idle. They have nothing that they are doing. Under those conditions, they can easily be influenced by other friends. They're bored. I went there and I saw people, young men that I knew growing up. I grew up in ELWA. They were like, oh, these are the good people, the Christian people. Everybody's drinking. And then I asked, I said, what happened? I'm talking about this is not just some small drinking. I'm talking about that is all they do from in the morning till night, and then they do it again 7 days a week. And several of them actually die already from it. And I asked, why? And everybody that spoke to me was, there is nothing to do. We wake up in the morning, we just sit around. So that right there. So something need to be done that can absorb the youth and put them to work, use their talents and their abilities. If that is not done, no matter how many programs you put in place, drug problem is still going to be very hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about issues afflicting Liberia. Let's go to our next topic. Let's talk about Liberia just signed a healthcare MOU, which is Memorandum of Understanding with the U.S. government. This particular MOU is causing a lot of problems around the entire Africa. Other countries that signed similar MOU are under pressure from their Supreme Courts, from the people, because what these people have done is that they have shredded the MOU, they have looked at it back and forth, brought in some experts, and they all have divergence of opinion on this. So Liberians are now catching up. So let's talk briefly about, I don't have anybody here who is an expert. So what we are expressing here is supposed to be our opinion, but we are all intelligent folks that can read and write and make our own judgment. Let me welcome Anthony Gay. Mr. Gay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Top of the now, waiting for.
Are you on the clock or are you home?
When you see that,
I'm home.
Oh, okay, okay. So you want? Yeah, I didn't see that thing behind you. So let's start with the health thing. Since you just came on, let's start with the health. You
You want me
just
to go first?
I'm gonna hit you with this one straight
All right.
out of the box.
Yeah, so that MOU, in all fairness, nothing against the Boaga administration, but let's look at 1986 in this country. They passed an act called the Hip Hop Law. That is a law that speak about people privacy, that confidentiality, um, and so on and so forth. Even if your relative or your sister is married and she has a medical condition and she in the hospital, the doctor will not speak to you. They have to speak to the husband, um, because of their privacy. In this particular MOU, the United States government is soliciting medical data in real time, while you at the hospital. When they are running tests on you, that information, the United States government will have access to it. In exchange, in exchange for $124 million over 5 years period. Folks, I know our country needs money. I know our country, trying to do things, but not every money is good money. And this particular money is not a good money for Liberia. They're gonna be collecting people's sensitive information, our national security, our health information. I mean, how bad can we be to go that far to sign such a deal? I have the full document in my possession. Right after my statement, I will go offline briefly to share it in the group chat, Mr. Gibman, so you can have it. The full document from start to finish. I have it in my possession now. And this is sad. It is not something for us to joke about. I mean, in as much as the government want this money, they could have opted for something else, not people information, direct information like that. I want to stop that for.
Excellent. Dr. Booty,
Yes, sir.
the health MOU, your take.
And let me get up and share right now. I'll come back.
Yeah, I think Mr. Gay came to this show today, ready to swing. He warned Aliyu Kamara before he got on here that he was going to take him to task, and he took the words out of my mouth, right? In terms of, and I know normally Mr. Tao will be the one blowing this trumpet, but the Americans are wanting something from Liberia by offering 124 million over 5 years, right? Clearly, this is one of it. I believe that there are other concessions that we will have to make to the American government to get this 120 million over 5 years, and $20 million a year is something that government should be able to afford, right? For our own healthcare sector, 20 million a year. This government, with their 1.2 billion budget that Aliyu and cronies have passed or are attempting to pass overnight, should be able to afford 120, like 20 million a year. We don't need the Americans to come and farm personal data, as Mr. Gay is suggesting, or expect us to give them favorable terms on concessions and access to our resources because they're giving us 20 million. This government, again, if they can manage the little resources we have well, and if they can cut back out of this, I think it was Mr. Gonglo, Kalibo, I keep forgetting how to pronounce his first name. He call it elite grab. If they can do away with this elite grab that they are doing in Liberia, where they're just stealing money from our people, just collecting, and to the detriment of the ordinary people. We don't need to collect 20 million. What is 20 million a year, right? Even a country like Liberia, with the 800 million budget we had, we can afford to put 20 million into our own healthcare sector so that we protect our people, protect their information, because this is, if what Mr. Gay, I've not read the document, but if what Mr. Gay is saying is true, the Americans want to use this information to prevent our people from getting visas to go to their country, to know people's medical histories so that apply for visa, they can refuse them. That is not the Republic of Liberia's job. Our job is not to help the Americans implement their immigration policy at the detriment of our own people, right? But these guys, because they want to continue to take and pay themselves hefty amounts, right? They would rather do that to their own people. And what they don't, because most of them, I was watching something recently, today actually, the head of the Senate of Nigeria fell off in Nigeria, and they ran him to London to come. And some Nigerians were complaining, like, why are we doing these things? And because these guys always go to Ghana and go to other places to get treatment, they believe that they will escape this harvesting of personal data. And this is wrong, right? Look, the Americans will never give you money for free, right? There is always conditions attached, conditions that are more expensive than the 20 million a year that they're giving us. And Liberians and Liberian officials of government need to start prioritizing our people, right? Aliyu, you need to talk to your people. Let them put the Liberian people first. The way they do that is don't take 20 million a year. Take the 20 million out of the budget. We can afford 20 million. It's not a lot of money. We can afford 20 million. But if you're going to harvest personal data, if you're going to give them favorable terms and concessions for 20 million a year, then it's a waste of our time and a disgrace actually to this government.
And Mr. Gibbon, the documents in the group chat now. I already shared that. The full document.
Mr. Gibbon.
Thank you. Let me go to Aliyu. Come out, Aliyu.
Yeah. First, let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just give this disclaimer. I'm not a fan of foreign aid because what it does is it enables these people, our officials, African leaders, to then decide to use the money that they collect from government agencies and the general public. They decide to actually distribute it among themselves. You will see a speaker budget go up, a deputy speaker budget go up every time the national budget increases. And the reason for this is because they expect some aid from somewhere. I really don't approve of foreign aid because it does not improve a country. It is the people that develop their country and not the amount of money that is given to them for free. And in fact, in the diplomatic world, there's no such thing as free. There's always a price. However, I think we're twisting the terms of the document. There's nothing in that MOU that says that people personal medical history should be given to the United States. When you say that, you're breaking it down. You are interpreting the MOU. We know that in order to get anybody's medical history in America, I know now the United States is not part of the World Health Organization, but it is a national standard that even the government to get somebody's medical history, you got to go to a judge. It got to be signed by a judge. The government knows that. Donald Trump might be a troublesome guy, but he understands that you don't just walk to a clinic and take somebody's medical history. The Liberians themselves, if they weren't so lazy, they can actually sue Liberia. Anybody whose medical information is released, hopefully they can know. And if they do, they have the right to sue the Liberian government for doing that, because that's a breach of privacy. What it says over there, for the most part, is they're talking about health data from the Ministry of Health. That is the general thing. We got 36,000 people with HIV and AIDS. That kind of data. They're not going to talk about the individual, the name, the birth date, his height, the color of his eye, and all of that. That's not what's going to happen. As someone who went to school for healthcare administration, you just cannot do it. It doesn't work. The United States does not have the legal right to ask any country to give somebody's medical history to them. They can't do that. So let's actually go into this thing, understand it for what it really is. I know Mr. Nangwe is coming. He's ready to. This man is coming. So I'll be here waiting to hear what you got to say.
Mr. Gaiman, the document is in the group chat. You can share that document so we can put Aliyu argument to rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have 10 seconds, please?
No, but I said, Mr. Vida,
go ahead, Fidel. Then I'm coming to you on the Eastman. Go ahead, Fidel.
There's not a debate to a pro. Once somebody has spoken, then you let it go around. Then we can come back with a
Yeah,
rebuttal.
yeah. He asked you for
Mr.
30,
Gideon,
30 seconds.
I
Go
will let
ahead,
it, it's
Boogie.
diplomatic to let it go around. Let it go around. After everybody go around now, you can give me my 10
No,
seconds.
you say you wanted 30 seconds, right? Didn't you?
Go 10, just 10, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to say to Mr. Kamara that two things. One, it's not aid, it's trap, right? It's international trap. It's not international aid, so don't call it that. And secondly, you're contradicting yourself. You can't be against aid, but then you're defending the terms of this aid or trap that is. Yeah, you can't have
It's
it both
hard for you
ways.
to
That's the
understand.
end of the day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Honorable Eastman,
Yeah,
there's something
I think.
called the protection of health privacy is something that goes beyond Western civilization. There's something called the Hippocratic Oath. In ancient Greece, they said, do no harm. That was basically a social contract, legal contract between provider of services and patient. By signing this law, are we doing harm?
Okay. We know we can go back to the privacy first, but let's look at is Liberia to gain anything from here? Okay, because this appears to be one of the most significant investments in healthcare that the U.S. has made in Liberia since Ebola. Okay, so what do we plan to what will we see? We're going to see greater disease surveillance. We're going to see laboratory systems. If I can borrow the language from Dr. Vidal here, laboratory systems pop up. We can see adequate medical supplies reaching the distributors and where it needs to go. We can see the development of health data systems. We can see the training of nurses, doctors, pharmacists, and community workers, So we will have a stronger preparedness for outbreaks and a shorter response times. Well, according to the MOU, we're supposed to respond within 7 days or fail to do so will mean that they may have to withdraw from this. And we have to improve our, laboratory testing. Well, what we're also about to see, something that is significant when we talk about the digital transformation, we're going to see now electronic medical records. We're going to see, beside the disease surveillance systems, we're going to see digital supply chain management. Okay. And then we'll see a national health data warehouse. So again, these are significant improvements toward the digitalization of our entire economy. It is good. Now, but there are some sovereignty concerns. Well, like everybody is saying. Okay. We're supposed to notify the U.S. within 24 hours of any outbreak. Is that where we want to be? We're supposed to accept U.S. FDA emergency approvals for medical products. So they are going to be dictating which medical product. We also have to allow U.S. audits of health data, supply chain, and finances. In Liberia, a lot of drugs are cheap. Is this going to stop us from importing cheaper drugs from places like India, China, or wherever we get it from? Those are the concerns we have. In other words, are we forfeiting our sovereignty here? Are they about to take over how we handle healthcare in the country? Those are the concerning issues. Okay. So what we need, and let's approach this with a balanced truth. It is a huge opportunity, but it also requires huge disciplines. We need to include some guarantees in this MOU for us, we Liberians. We need to make sure that they can pull out anytime they want, and that's not quite fair. And I'm concerned that they may find that where we've breached certain clause in this MOU, and then all of a sudden they pull out. You know, we can we meet these demanding benchmarks that they have stipulated? And someone mentioned cost. I think it was Dr. Booty. You know, we start at 1.14 million initially, and by 5 years, we're supposed to undertake or take over everything, which comes to about what, $120 million a year. Can we handle that? You know, and if we're not going to handle it, then they need to speak up, because simply sitting down and say, yeah, we agree, and then when you fail to meet it, you're not giving yourself a chance. Can you raise $20 million for healthcare in within 5 years? Look at healthcare budget today. What is it? Anyone can recite the budget to it. What is healthcare budget? And
It's a little over 100 million.
okay, and in 5 years, you accept the responsibility of hiring
It was 100 million.
Little over 100 million. Go ahead, Mr. Eastman.
In 5 years, we're going to absorb 2,000 more healthcare workers. Is this realistic for us? I'm just looking at our country as realistically, you know, because they will provide the money, they will provide monitoring, and if we're not meeting these things, they will pull out. So are we really prepared? Is this realistic? Can we realize it? You know, and those are our concerns with this. You know, it has a good side, but it also has a responsibility, and we have to make sure we can take on that responsibility.
Great. Mr. Tao.
Okay. So look, I listened to everybody, and I listened to Mr. Eastman. He asked some questions, and in the beginning he laid some stuff out, how it could, the things that it could improve. But this is what I would say to the Liberian people and to the African population in general. Reject this stuff. Reject it. If you look at this MOU, how can the United States of America is the world's sickest population country? They have over 60% of its citizens have at least one chronic disease. The United States is not even willing to assist its own citizens to where health care, where people are dying in this country because they can't afford to even go to the doctor. And they're even cutting from their own people for health care, leaving them completely naked. The Trump administration came to power. They said, we're not going to do aid anymore. It is now America first. And then they're implementing, then one day they wake up and they're deciding, not just Liberia, to engage the entire Africa with this. I listened to Marco Rubio, that the goal is to sign this with as many African countries as possible. Are we really asking ourselves, what is the angle? Why do they want to do this at this particular critical moment? Okay, Mr. Eastman alluded to something, because if you look at the MOU, so if they're coming to Africa for them to tell you about your own health, they'll go ahead and write a document and then bring it to you, and this is signed here. If this, nothing they bring to you can ever be in your interest, I don't know how long it would take us for us to actually get, we are the only people in the world that actually operate like this. And the outcome is always the same. But the moment they present another deception, we are ready to even jump on it. It should be rejected. All of the reasons that are given, there is a critical part that is being missed. Every time the West is leading this particular mission about population reduction, And every time they mention population reduction, that the globe is overfilling, which is a lie. I live here in America. I travel here and you see all the land empty everywhere. The scarcity that we're experiencing in the world is artificially made. If you take away all the crises that they're creating all over the place and people can just function, there is enough. Okay? But when they are telling, and anytime they mention population reduction, Africa come up. In America here, when they mention population reduction, black people come up. You see the correlation. But why the United States or the West is telling Africa that population reduction, we are here, they're paying their citizens in America to have more children, the child tax credit. In Britain, they're paying, I've done the research, they're paying their people all over in Europe, even in China. But anytime they mention population reduction, it's Africa. And I want you to know there is one critical policy of the United States and the West. And I want to believe the rest of the world. We want Africa only without the Africans. Me and you, we are old enough. We might not be living at that time, but we have to see this. There is something they call gene selective research. Mr. Kamara, you are saying that, oh, they're just going to say how many people have HIV and all this stuff. No, it's not that. They're going to put the infrastructure, software and hardware in place. They're going to have a management team. They're going to filter all the information back. You think these people follow any law? Look at their history. Have they followed any law? All their own laws they're breaking it. What does the immigration law say? That if you arrest somebody, you take them to an immigration judge. This is their own law. You see them taking somebody to immigration judge. The law say if you arrest somebody for immigration violation, after you try them, you send them back to their country. Are they taking people to an immigration judge? Are they sending them back to their own country? Their own law say, and the international law that they want to quote, you do not kill suspects. They're killing alleged suspects all over the place. And you want to talk about that some kind of, no, they don't follow anything. It doesn't matter even why you sign with them. They're stronger than you. You have chicken heads in the government. They do anything and nobody says anything. So I will give this before I close. So based on that gene selective research, all they need to know is that the population and the demographic, when they get this information, they don't even have to have all of the genome and all the stuff. That X amount of population are susceptible to these kind of diseases. Then what do? They modify the viruses and the bacteria, and they release it in that population. They've done it, it's on record, and they're guilty of it. Africa's population, Liberia population right now, Africa population about 1.5 billion right now, roughly. By 2050, Africa population is supposed to jump from 13% of the world population to 2.5 billion. Outdo everybody while everybody's population is declining. At that time, Africa became 30% of the world population. There is a goal here. There is an agenda here to try to reverse that. Okay? This is not one day they just wake up and want to engage the whole Africa. Do we even know how Ebola came about?
Okay, bro. Thank you.
No. Don't interrupt me, please. Do you know how Ebola came about? Because this is serious.
Don't be a whole day, man.
Ebola, they say it came from one forest in Guinea. A 5-year-old kid ate some bat. How many Liberians in Monrovia, with that way in that place that we listed in Guinea when I tried to check for? In no time, it was in Liberia. Everywhere where Ebola sprung up, the U.S. had biological warfare program going on. LIBR in Liberia, the place near Kinema and Bo, only the Guineans caught that very early on. They chased out the Red Cross and all these guys, and Ebola, what happened? It ceased in Guinea. I have people that they say they had Ebola. I told them, do not go to any of the ETU. Run away. They all live. Those people that went there, they died. Do you know what happened when the so-called troop went there? They took all the blood samples of what they have released against the African people, used that as a serum to create vaccine. Where is the benefit that we got? So we have to be careful here. We don't need this. We have the money. We have the money. The money is there. Let these politicians cut their salaries and their benefits and put this in there. Liberians should reject this. Africans should reject this.
Thank you.
If the U.S. want to help our healthcare and they are serious, we need the hospitals to be equipped. We need better training for doctors and just those basic stuff. Not for you to have access to people's genome and everything else, and then you develop some virus and bacteria. Bill Gates, all the mosquitoes that he releasing Liberia out of malaria. No. The GMO mosquitoes out of a certain malaria are out of control. When they were happening, we're talking, they say, oh, that the man out of a certain, what happened? Bill Gates now have malaria vaccination. That Liberia and other countries, Africans are being forced to buy, to deposit money with WHO so that they can buy it. And we keep falling for the same trap over and over. It should be rejected.
Thank you. Honorable Namwe, I know we have been discussing this ad nauseum. The pros and cons about this. Your take on this?
No, look, I think people far more knowledgeable than I am have spoken on this. I really don't have much. My only question would be, if the roles were reversed, would Liberia be able to do this to the U.S.? If your answer is no, then why are we doing it? If your
If you
answer
had
is
the brain
yes,
power, yes.
Oh, my man, you can't let your friend and talk, man. What?
But I'm talking to you. The man I'm talking about that small boy, get off for yourself.
But
Only
we
you can
don't
speak about
listen to
people.
him. He's saying something that we need to listen to
Like,
learn.
wait, man,
So
that's the
he's
matter.
interrupting all of us.
I mean, stop bullying me. I beg you, man.
I mean,
That's
can't
fine.
bully you, man.
That
But
stop up
anyway,
behind that quick to open your mouth.
anyway,
Go ahead.
Jeremy, this man is so afraid of my answer. He doesn't want me to talk. But anyway, Dr. Booty, I'm not saying much. All I'm saying is, if our answer is yes, then let's do it. If our answer is no, Liberia can never do this to the U.S., then why are we doing it? That will be my input.
Great, guys. Listen, great topic. Great, guys. We got some powerful minds here. You know, the one thing I say to the folks, the day Liberians agree on anything, when they all agree, forget it. Then they're about to send Aliu back to Foya.
Let me get 30 seconds.
Eh?
Let me get 30 seconds.
There you go. Go ahead. Nobody interrupted you. Go ahead with your 30 seconds.
Okay, I bet you that somebody will interrupt me. I can guarantee you that. But here's it. What I wanted to say to my man Anthony is, nobody on here is saying, go ahead and give the medical record of your citizens to another country. We are also saying that no country in their right mind, no president who have common sense, will openly say to another president, I will give you this money, give me all of your people's medical history. That is not what it is. I think when you say it like that, it means you're just trying to inflame. It doesn't work that way. I'm not saying they're not going to steal it. I'm not saying they don't have the ability to break through, like Tower is saying, they're the one creating the software. Yeah, they might be able to penetrate. I'm not saying they can't steal it. People steal information all the time. That's what they do in these people call themselves superpowers. That's what they do. But what I'm saying is to go and sign an MOU to say, give me your people medical history, and another government say, okay, yeah, we'll give you all that medical history. Come on now, you're oversimplifying.
Excellent, guys.
So
Listen.
let me ask. Can I ask Mr.
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Booty. Go ahead, Dr. Booty.
Mr. Kamara, do you think that the current budget we have in Liberia, we can afford 20 million a year, and we don't need to take this? Do you believe we have the money and we don't need their money?
Let me just answer you this way. Liberia have enough, if properly managed, that no Liberian can sleep hungry. Not to even talk about medical record or hospital, this and that. Everything will be there.
Because people are sleeping hungry now, are you admitting that our resources are not properly managed right now?
You see how they get kind of quick?
Why you guys
twisting? You just said it.
You see how they get turning around quick?
Nobody turning anything around. They just asking you You say Liberians should not go hungry because we got enough. But saying we are going hungry, that means somebody mismanaging it. That's why Joseph Walker came
But let's say it this way.
To correct the wrongs.
Yeah, and what we're doing on the show right now, let's say it this way. Why give somebody $45,000 vehicle when he's already taking at least $8,000 home? Why give him that? What about me who is a citizen? Excuse me. What about me who is a citizen? 1 minute. What about me who is a citizen who doesn't have a car and who cannot afford transportation? Don't I have the right to mobility? So it's a systematic thing that we must address. Okay, go ahead now.
Mr. Gamer, if I may 30 seconds here. Yeah.
Go ahead,
and I want to commend Mr. Eastman for the point he raised. The value, the benefit thereof. But those benefits can be acquired through our own means. We don't need the United States to do so. Mr. Valley, in all fairness, look, we should not come here and try to, pretend as though we care about the people when deep down in our heart, we don't. Right?
Oh, emotional.
President Waka in 2024 signed into law the national budget that has in it 11.8 million quote-unquote legislative projects. The president vetoed that. He did not. He sent that same amount again in 2025. That same amount again is in the $1.2 billion. You understand? So in your, description you just gave, if the country is well managed, no Liberian will go hungry. Well, it's not being well managed. And I agree with Mr. Eastman. Enfield. The U.S. helped us during Ebola time to build Enfield. We can build upon what we have at Enfield to go more robust, having a digital record, having, all the other different nuances that come with, improving the healthcare system. We do not need this MOU. We don't. Because this MOU is not in the best interest. You think that people will come to you and say, oh, give me all your medical record? And when they themselves passed HIPAA in 1986, they ain't going to say it that way. But they said you must give them data, a preventative data in exchange for $124 million. Do you know what they're going to do? Everything is in there. They're detecting what our people will do. Your people don't have the sophistication to know what is being collected, what is not being collected. It's like I saw my still right now digging our man. When they find gold, diamond, whatever it is, you have no idea. All you know, every year they should take 20 million metric tons of iron ore, which amount to $2.8 billion US, and Liberia get $20 million in exchange. Chicken change. So what we're saying here in essence is that our leaders should not just get into any kind of agreement just because money is behind it. They should put the country first, and they should think about the future. And they're not doing so, and that's the reason why we are flagging it. I want to stop there.
Mr. Gateman, real quick, we are mistaking something here. You know how all the aid work, right? Every time they say they give, because I brought this up yesterday when I was on the show with Thomas, and he wanted to read all these fund data. That's fine, but let's look at the result of this data. If USAID said that they put almost $1 billion into Liberia agriculture, yeah, you can read all this fine stuff and all this one. Let's look at the agriculture sector and see what the outcome. It doesn't exist.
It's a different process, though.
No. It's the same thing with healthcare too. They say they put over $1 billion in your healthcare. Look at the healthcare. They say they build capacity institution. Where is it? It doesn't exist.
Yeah, but the process has changed. This is a different process.
I'm coming to something. Why doesn't it exist? Because that money doesn't go to Liberia. In it, they swindle money from their own people here, use Liberia as something in the London in the shade. That was why they fight over USAID closing walls. Now, remember in this MOU, there are American contractors that are going to be attached to this stuff. What is did it state in the MOU what their cut of that $124 million will be? No. So you are just saying that you receive $20 million. No, you are not. because I dealt with 513C and all of this stuff. Some of the operating cost is 90% of the total budget. So you think you're getting maybe like $2 million or $5 million that will come there because they will take everything, administrative costs and other costs, their consulting and the so-called experts. So we are not even set to receive no $20 million a year. These are the things. So when you actually quantify it, you find out you're going to give away your citizens to be killed or something happen to them for a couple of $1 million.
Excellent,
So
excellent, guys. Land real quick, so go to the next
No,
topic.
I'm just saying, so it's not worth it. So we should get rid of that stuff. Other people read it and they look at it. Because on here yesterday, Thomas was saying that some guy in Kenya just posted something. So I said, no, there were doctors, there were experts, there were virologists, there were people in Kenya from the university and the medical, the teaching hospitals that raised this stuff and engaged the government. In Liberia, anything that is signed, once it comes from the US, nobody wants to ask any question. Everything go.
Thank you. Honorable Eastman, let's go to the budget here. The budget thing is one that sometimes makes me, I think you and I have been in several of our conversations, even when we're in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
And I say sometimes it looks like the country is doomed, no matter who gets there. Now, there was a budget that was presented by the administration a few weeks back, and even the House of Representatives said the budget was so bad that it was unbelievable. It was not realistic. Numbers didn't add up. But then the same House, almost unanimously, only two voted against our Musa ability and Safoko. Everybody else that was condemning it, they all almost unanimous.
Including the minority group, eh?
The minority and everybody, with the exception of two. When things like this happen, Mr. Honorable Eastman, if some of us go there and just scratch our head and say, you know what, no matter what we say, no matter what we do, these guys' minds are made up already. Their minds are locked to stealing. And usually we used to beat the rogues in the street when we were growing up in Liberia. These guys are rogues. Why are we not beating them in the street? I mean, grab a lawmaker, line them up, flog them 20, 50 lashes each for stealing. They are thieves. Your take on this budget before we dive into it.
Yeah, this it's we see a trend here, and it's repeating itself. I mean, all of us here can look at this budget and see that it contains very little that translates into tangible improvements for Liberians. It looks like something to underwrite lavish lifestyles, unchecked benefits, and wasteful habits of corruption. It doesn't make any sense. Why are we giving representatives and senators money to carry on developments in the counties? Is that the right channel? I can see quite vividly a contradiction in the Constitution there, where the Minister of Public Works, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Planning and Economics supposed to be planning these things, and now you're giving it to individuals. And we know what these individuals do. There's no auditing. There's no check and balance on how these projects, there's no performance reporting. And we are agreeing to give them millions of dollars every year on top of what they're already getting. I've seen people write this sort of behavior encourages people, the citizens, to be frustrated because they can seek no address from the people who are leading them, and eventually they will buck against it. Why are we giving all this to this? We already said that the recurrent the budget is more recurrent than anything else, 80%. That means you don't have any money to invest. If you're not investing in the economy, in education, in agriculture, in besides roads. That's the only thing you see positive in this budget. But if you're not investing in it, that means we'll be like this tomorrow and the day after. Why, if these senators and legislators, if they do love the country, they are true patriots like Aliyu Kamara, why are they not willing to sacrifice these benefits they get, all the thousands and thousands of dollars of gas slips, all the thousands and thousands of dollars of all the various benefits? Why they are not willing to forego those benefits, at least for a couple of years, until we can develop things that will improve our existence in the market, until we can improve the plight of our young children in rural schools that don't even have a proper classroom. Why are they not willing? They're not willing at all. And that's the irony of it. But yet they will tell us they are patriotic. To me, if you're patriotic, you will sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice, that means you're not patriotic. So this budget first, and the last thing, this is a technical criticism. Why are we always simply cutting and pasting? Why don't we try to start developing the budget from scratch, from the beginning, instead of just simply say, okay, last year we'll take last year's budget and we'll just add this to it and add that there. Why do we always do that? You want to tell me, say the structure of Liberia has not changed? And that is why you see these benefits for the senators and representatives just simply pile up, because at one point they weren't getting cars. Then we started giving them cars. At one point they didn't need gas. Then we started giving them gas, and it just piles up because we just adding on the last year's budget, and we're not evaluating the budget from a wholesome point of view. So I think we need to we need to approach putting this budget together in a new from ground up, and let's revisit. Do we actually need the things that is already contained in the budget? That's what I submit.
Great. This one I have to go to Honorable Nambi. The guy who used this famous phrase, he said, Joseph Boakai loved his country, but the Pape just can't make it because he got around him capital role, small role, big role, and all kind of role. It turned out the guy who wrote this famous quote voted for the budget. Voted for the budget. This is our own man from the CMC, Marvin Cole. This is Marvin Cole here. Said Joseph Boakai loved his country, Pape loved it, but he just can't make it. The role that right there too sophisticated than him. They got small role, big role, capital role, all around Joseph Boakai. Then the budget, then you voted for it. What's going on here?
I did inquire, and it appears Marvin Cole was out of town when this vote was taken.
Marvin Cole was out of the country?
Yeah, he was out of the country. That's what I was told. So yeah, he didn't vote. He didn't vote. But look, the budget in its current form, right, is sad, is pitiful, is unjust. And this president, I think he's a mediocre president, because I really think he came to make a difference, but it looks like he's just gonna be another, as usual. He has been in government for a very long time. He understands government. He knows how to alleviate issues, understand how to alleviate problems. But this budget, $1.2 billion, 1 billion of that money is for recurrent expenditure, and you expect not to sell our data to the U.S. government. I mean, we are settling for any and everything. And somebody pointed out that we have the resources here, and I absolutely agree. We have the resources here. And we need a judicious management of our resources. And that's how nobody will go hungry. I agree with Mr. Kamara there. For once, I think he spoke the truth. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. And again, Senator Amara Kane, I admire him a lot. I think he brings a lot of clarity to some of the issues, but I think he himself is mediocre because you don't know where he stands. He breaks down this budget and points out the flaws in his budget, but yet he himself is taking $2,000 for gasoline per month to do what? Is he flying to work in a jet? Why? So he's taking home almost $8,000 a month in Liberia net. I'm not talking about gross. So yeah, I like his elucidation. I like what he brings to the table, but he himself, I don't think he knows what he wants. So the budget in its current form, it has to be recast. The money has to be reallocated. You give $13.6 million to agriculture. Are you serious?
They increase it now?
Agriculture?
So 1.9 million.
No, 13.
I think the total is
13.
No, he's talking about last time.
And to Amara's point, he pointed out a good proposal from Dr. Nuta of the Minister of Agriculture. He put out a six-year plan to spend over $700 million to make us self-sufficient in rice production. And this president is in the second year. He's giving $13 million against what, $700+ million. Is this a rescue? We came to rescue our people. This is a disgrace.
They're expecting $350 million from European Union.
Okay, well, Sweden is already pulling out. The usage has already shut down. Yeah, we can't be looking outside and depending.
But the argument the U.S. get $350.
Anthony Gay, why are the man talking?
I understand your point, Mr. Gay, and I think this is the problem we have. First of all, this budget is aspirational, is unattainable, is overly ambitious. A lot of people have said that. The current chair on Ways and Means has indicated that. The sources they are looking to, including what you're saying, outside sources, and even the state-owned enterprises are not reporting. LPRC was in the budget last year to report over $5 million. They reported only $700,000. Now this year they expecting to bring $10 million. How is that? Does that make sense? You went to school, you finished 6th grade, then you go and you double promote yourself to 9th grade and you expect to pass. Does that make sense? Dr. Booty, you laughing. This is a serious business. This is the Booty economics our people are practicing in Liberia. We come here every day, we bang our heads, and they don't care. This budget is going to pass anyway. And you know what is going to happen? The 5 of them will get an $11+ million or $15 or so million, and the shortfall will be that money appropriated for hospitals, for school feeding, for all those kind of things. Those are the people who will not get that money when the shortfall is declared. All of them will get their money. Kun will get $400,000. You will walk away in the sunshine and get ready for the next budget. But our people will be left crushing rocks to send their children to school. This is the wickedness of this regime, this so-called rescue, bunch of rascals, totally empty, no creativity, no empathy, no patriotism, a bunch of thieves. This is a disgrace. They need to take this budget back and reallocate it. They need to do better than what they're doing. And we know they can. Let them put aside their greed and for once put our people first. The budget right now in its current form is unacceptable. It is unpatriotic. It does not represent the Joseph Boakai that people talk about. He needs to wake up because this is happening on his watch. This is happening on his watch. So I will pass it on to Mr. Kamara because I know he has to come back. I will say a lot more.
Let me go to Dr. Booty. To what Honorable Nambe is saying here, Amara Kone is the most deceptive lawmaker next to my brother Dylan. He comes out and writes the flowery critique. He points out everything. Then he goes out and vote against it. Like in the United States, Al Gore. No, that was the former, what his name, Corey. Is that John Kerry, right? He says,
John Kerry.
John Kerry.
John
yeah.
Kerry.
Kerry, yeah.
Don't carry it.
He said,
John Kerry.
I voted against it before I voted for it.
That's right. That was the WMD. The
That's
WMD.
the law
So-
for Iraq.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Dr. Moody, Amara Conan wrote something telling all the flaws, and he thought the Unity Party were going to let him off the hook. And then the pull-up hammer was sent to him this gone fiscal year, and this is what he said. They say he wants to blame everything on the Unity Party, but unfortunately, the senator accepts everything the Unity Party government offers him, including $2,000 a month for gas slip, $9,000 gross in salary, $20,000 in constituency visit, $30,000 in committee hearing allowances, $2,000 a month for scratch card, and $2,000 a month for housing allowance. That he come out, he said, I only made $8,000, and but he refused. This is how deceptive he is, and I'm glad the Unity Party are putting him on the spot. This is what they have given him the entire year. This man is making a killing. Then he comes out and pretends as though he has empathy for the folks and this and that. Then he turns around and takes the money. Look at this. This man taking home $9,000, $2,000, $20,000, $30,000, $200 a month in scratch card, and then $2,000 a month for housing allowance. Who in the hell live here?
And you forget the 150,000.
Huh?
You forget the 150,000 across the board for every one of them.
Yes. So he total here he gets about $187,000 a year.
All right, I'm not a big fan of Americana, but I might say some things that might look like I'm a fan. I think the 30,000 for committee appearance and stuff, that one there, a Nigerian man can say a weak me, because your job is to go for committee hearing. So why would we pay you 9,000 and get you extra 30,000 to go do your, it don't make sense to me, right? Look, as it is,
what's about the 20,000 constituency visit?
That one I can understand for some people. I think the amount is too high, right? In the UK, for example, if you go to your constituencies, to visit, you can claim your costs back. So, maybe they set up a system where people claim their cost. If you buy gas, you keep your receipt, you bring your claim.
20 grand, man.
No, it's too much. That's why I say it's too high. I don't disagree with the idea, but it's too high. I think engagement with your constituency should be facilitated because you're traveling. So sorry?
At least $2,000.
No, my brother, stop interrupting me. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I agree the amount is high, but the idea, I understand the idea. Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, let me come on the other side quickly. Look, Americana could, right? Basically say, look, I will only take $5,000 a month from my salary and use the rest for development in my district, or give the rest to the hospital or whatever. He could do that. He chose not to do that. But this entire system was set up by Americana and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, right? They're the ones that brought these high salaries on us, right? It was under when he was at I think planning or whatever he was, but he worked very closely with the president. They created this system, so it's difficult for him to criticize the system that he created. I'll disagree slightly with my brother, Mr. Nange. I, for one, felt that Joseph Boakai should not have even considered running to be president of our country. I think his decision to run was selfish. I think he ran simply because he was trying to prove a point to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that, I can be president too, right? I don't think in 1 million years he spent in government that he understands how to run government. Many of us went to school. There were guys in our class that were passing, but they didn't understand that. So the teachers some of them, the teachers were so tired with them, they just pull 70, and just sit and get out of my class. So being in a class doesn't necessarily mean you're understanding what is going on, right? Boakai has been in the class, doesn't mean that he learned anything. So that's why I would just push by slightly. I'm starting to get into Mr. Towell's corner, right, with this system issue, because this is a systemic problem. This has to be a systemic problem, and we need to find a new system. representative democracy is not working for the Liberian people. I believe, and this is my suggestion, unlike Mr. Tao, for me, I like to make suggestions in terms of how we change things. I think on certain issues, on major issues like the budget, right, it should be direct democracy on the budget issue where the citizens get to vote whether or not the budget passed. So when they write the budget, they give it to the citizens. We will vote on the budget and say, yeah, the budget represents our interests, right? I think that will cut out most of this nonsense that we're seeing in our government. It will cut, and not only that, but we need to have an office for budget responsibility that will draft the budget, not the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, because their job is to disperse, right? Their job is to manage the budget once it's been given to them. We should have an independent office of citizens, right? Office of Budget Responsibility that will draft the budget, will look at the country, so, okay, where do we have the most needs? We need to develop more opportunities for food production. So we will allocate 20% to that. We need to educate our people. So that independent body will draft the budget and then hand it over to the Liberian people. They will vote on it. If they vote to pass it, they vote to pass it. If they don't vote to pass it, they send it back for them to rewrite it. Because at the end of the day, the people that we've elected in this particular system, a bunch of greedy idiots who cares only about themselves and their greed. They do not care about the Liberian people. These guys know. Even the Yeke who can be passing around here causing people money, whether he gets sick, that Ghana he can go to. He don't go to Jackson F. Hospital. He don't go to JFK. They're all going out of the country, so they don't care about the ordinary people. Their children are going to the international schools in Liberia, so they don't care about putting things in my district in Sano County or Mr. Nangwe's district in Grand Cru or your district in Grand Bassa, right? They don't care about those things because at the end of the day, they're taking the money and sending their children to good schools, sending them out of the country. So we need to change the system. I think we need to now put our heads together as Liberians, those of us here and those who are listening, that look, we want a semi-direct democracy. We will still vote for the Senate to advise and consent on presidential nomination. Scrap that whole House of Representatives. And when it comes to these major legislative changes to the Constitution, to the budget, whatever, we've let the Liberian people vote directly for it.
Wow. Let me go to our own man here, Aliu.
Yeah.
Aliu, these guys work 2 days a week. Not only that, but the government has an extra budget for them. They got offices in their home districts. Those people and all of these things are provided for. What can we do to because this budgeting? I got to give it a towel here. He said, Mr. Gayman, no matter how much we raise, the more money we raise, they will raise their own salary, nothing going down to the people. And I hate to say this, but he said he won us over a year ago.
He been leading the show.
It's the extraordinary exuberance that I observe on platform is what's really entertaining. You know, it keeps the show really going. So I hope people keep it up. You know, they call the citizens to go and vote on a budget. I guess you don't know the form of government you have. I guess we just disband the legislature, you know. But two things. The budget is not excellent, but I think the budget is good.
Oh.
Yes. A lot of the time. Eh?
No, go ahead.
Oh man. So a lot of the time when we're speaking because we're active, because we're energized, but we're not speaking from the technical understanding of what the topic is. So for example, if this budget is passed, and it will pass, the Ministry of Health is going to help with the process of building the 100 primary and secondary schools that President Joseph Boakai wants. The Ministry of Education also, there you go. What is it? The Ministry of Education.
Help building schools?
I said Ministry of Education. The Ministry
No, you said
of
health.
There you go.
He misspoke. Let him be. Let him go.
Can you just say what is good about this budget, Mr. Kamara?
But I'm explaining if I'll be given the chance.
You're taking too long. You always say Mr. Gimmet take too long. Now you're whining.
I haven't even started talking.
What is good about this budget? Tell us.
Listen, the man speak Monday, he speak Mandingo, Then you see Basa, you got to translate before you get to it. So we give you some extra time, you know. Now when you're a teacher, you got to give these students extra time to translate. Go ahead.
I speak 4 Liberian languages eloquently. But here's the thing. The Ministry of Education now want to put, they already post some of them, about 2,000 of them, but the Ministry of Education also want to put almost all of them if they qualify. Of course, they have to go through a test from the Ministry of Education. They're working on that. The Ministry of Education also has a project to revamp, rehabilitate all government schools, starting with Monrovia, under this new budget, because most of the schools are almost dilapidated.
The school in his community.
Yeah. Wait for me. Let me finish it.
I just want to know whether that school is included. That's all.
You are all here through. You are all here through. No,
I've used the school in this.
You can't control the weather when it comes after me. You are all here through. How can I run down numbers around? I said that you can't let me finish. You know,
I will quote him as a Fadiga who happened to have been an official at your LDEA. I will not remember you hire him.
We'll count there. Let's stick to this topic for now. Okay. So there are lots of things that the ministry, and in so doing, it has a trickle-down effect economically. Now, the government has said that any renovation or the rebuilding of the 100 schools that they're supposed to build, and which will be affected by this budget as well, it must be done by Liberian contractors. That's how you put money in the private sector. The Ministry of Health has a 9-yard of programs that they want to go after. So to just assume that, increasing budget for land ministries, the only problem I have with this budget when I say it is not excellent is because it really doesn't break anything down to the understanding.
Wait for it. Say it. No, say it. We won't hear it.
I'm coming now. It doesn't break anything down for the understanding of the common people. It just leaves everything in bulk. 100 million for health, this, that, for that. Now, the details is in the devil, but the devil is not a popular person. It's a private person.
He dealt with the devil already.
So that's their fault. Because for me, I would expect to say, okay, XYZ is going to the promotion of people with disability, their livelihood, enhancing their capacities, for blah, 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 blah. Break it down piece by piece. Single mothers who have who giving birth, and we have some kind of maternity support for them for 90 days, also the free medical care for the child. You break those things down and the people will be happy. But if you just leave it with the land ministries to decide their own programs without a national program being imposed upon them, sometimes the resources can be mismanaged. But we can't just look at the whole thing in bulk and just say it's not good. I think both sides have an issue here. The people who prepare the budget have an issue for not being very explicit. And we who are discussing it from the surface also do not have the actual details. And so we're just speaking based on assumptions.
Speak for yourself.
Well, ladies
I can tell you this.
Listen, guys, before I go to Mr. Ottawa here, Mr. Aliu reminds me when we're all young, when you do something in the house and the people want to flood you, he said, "In my wall, we all did it."
That's what I'm saying.
He knows.
You remember that one girl in the group when you go talking to the other girl, they didn't touch her, then you leave her alone.
Yeah.
Is it man? We're not talking to you. Is it you leave her alone?
Yeah.
But look,
Mr. Tower, here we are. This man here defending the government.
I'm not even surprised anymore that Kamara will come here, be very dishonest, disingenuous, and deceptive. So a whole bunch of stuff that is incoherent. You think somebody? What detail do we need to see? A budget was set. 90% of the budget went to recurring expenditures and what's supposed to be invested in the people. They're not talking about somebody getting some contract, some business person. How many?
They are invested in the people through the agencies responsible to dispense these funds. What about that? You don't understand?
Look at what happened here.
Why you interrupting?
You were here when under the Open government, when the representative senators were getting all these benefits. Me and you, it was me and you that were on it. The same thing is happening. Then you want to try
I'm talking about line agencies, not the House of Legislation.
There is no line item. They're not supposed to be getting no 45,000 for a car and all this stuff. These are the things we're talking about.
Mr. James, the man twisting the whole thing around.
Stop being deceptive. But look, Dr. Booty said that he agreed with me, but there's some stuff he like to give solution. But all the solution he gave, these are solutions that I already gave over almost a year ago. You can go back and pull the show. I said the legislature need to be dissolved. I said that is a weight on us. I said that what do they do? That was the question I asked. I said two major things. They vote on budget and concession. I said the two things to be put for referendum. Line by line item, let the people decide on it. If they put in there 20 million for the presidential stuff, and then see if the people agree when you give them only 100,000 to develop their counties. So I'm just saying it that I'm glad that we arrived at that point. But look, the issue here is that you see we can sit here and talk all through. The system that we have need to be dismantled. You cannot have a people that set their own salaries and benefits and they just choose whenever they want to put money in. Whenever they feel that they want to put money in, I tell all Liberian people everywhere, stop paying your taxes. Stop it. And the government is not going to be able to do anything to you. No matter how much money you pay, these guys are going to share it. Until at some point that we have a system that can actually work with clear accountability and everything else. That's the only time taxes make sense. So we don't even have budget. Because I know how I do my budget. Before I do my budget, I look at, you don't just like Dr. Booty put in place a very good area. Let there be an area. Why is Ministry of Finance and Development in the first place? Why are you putting development on finance? Finance is supposed to only disburse. They know nothing about development. But you see, Ellen with her crook gangs, they did that stuff because they wanted to make sure that they siphon money in the American right here. Through the so-called development, they didn't want for it to be a standalone area like the way it was, so that when they see the money, they will have to come here into planning and development to see the money. So they force it on a finance where they will mango and steal it. That is why she did that. It don't make any sense that you're planning and development, you put it on a finance for what?
Faulty theories.
No, wait, my fault. That is what she did. The proof is there.
Don't listen to this man. Just be
but
we're
look,
hearing you. Yeah.
This system need to be dismantled, gentlemen. It need to be dismantled. A lot of the stuff that are affecting the country need to be go on referendum. If they need to go ahead and mine Putu or Wologisi, couple of crooks sitting inside that place get bribed, and they put out the people forest. No, let the people decide if they want a mountain to be cut open and the whole environment destroyed. Let them decide that. If they have a budget that's supposed to reflect the country, guess what? Put it up, let the people vote on it. Let it be a referendum. The thing is once a year. Dissolve, you don't need the Senate. Let me tell you something. You know when America used to be very prosperous, senators and representatives had jobs. You know, let that go to the churches. You know when churches used to really be good. The pastor preached and he had a job. He had his business. Once they became so-called full-time, why you might be full-time pastor? You
I now lose the topic. What's the topic again?
No. I'm just giving you a scenario with the same House of Representatives.
Taiwo, don't let it man distract you.
They are passing law. You know, I told my little daughter, I said lawmakers. She said, what kind of job is that? I said, I don't even understand what kind of job is that. What are my lawmakers? That they're making law. How much law is there to actually govern the people? We already have all of these laws. Okay? If there is something that need to be part of Gaza, only over there they just share money. If you remove that legislation from there, you save all the money. Put up things like you reinforce it like the booty, referendum, budget concession. That's the two major stuff. That's it. That's the two major things. Put it up for referendum. Guess what? You even cut down. But you see why we are saying this? Then they just pass a bill to create more constituencies. Then they just pass a bill. or at least propose to increase more, to even add more people into the House. They just did that. Look, these guys took this government by force, and they will have to be removed by force. I'm just telling you.
Thank you. Listen,
Jerome,
I-
Jerome, let me
Mr. Game, I ain't speaking on the
let
topic.
me give it 2 seconds. Let me talk to Mr. Jala here, William Jala.
Mhm.
You know,
Mr. Game, I ain't speaking on the topic.
I was just about to address it, but go ahead.
That was a joke, man. That was a joke.
I'm glad you highlighted that, Mr. Jala. When we come on here, you know, you say your own, I say my own. Don't come here with that kind of language, please. If you cannot contain yourself, I will personally ask the next way to block you. What we talk here, we talk for ourselves. You can come here and talk your own, but the kind of language you're using there is unacceptable, and you need to cut it out. You know, find a better way to express yourself. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we usually
Mr.
say
Mr.
when.
Gimme, Mr.
Yeah,
Gimme,
I'm
Mr.
coming.
Gimme, I think
Mr. Game, I didn't speak on the
now
topic.
since
I'm coming. I'm
it was
coming.
targeted at me,
I'm
can I
coming to
just say
Dr. Boo.
something briefly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think let me just say something. Mr. Nangbe, you said the person name is Mr. Jala, right?
Yes,
William
yes,
Jala.
Dr. Mr.
Yeah,
Jala.
Mr. Jala, I would never compare myself with President Bouaka because he has achieved a lot more than I've achieved. I have no desire to be vice president of Liberia, neither do I have any desire to be president. He's done both, right? I can't compare myself with him. However, as a citizen, I have a right to question what he's doing. In 2017, I had a consulting.
You see what the NSA does? You see what
Yeah.
the NSA does?
That's the right to the day. Just get him out of here. Yeah, go to Anthony.
I am outrightly accusing Mr. Kamara of being responsible for that.
Of course.
But I can't do that to me anyway.
When he comes back, we'll bring him on. Go ahead, Anthony.
Look, this whole budget, first and foremost, the budget was passed in the lower house illegally. You need two-third majority.
There is no such thing as a lower house. They
Okay,
say three equal branches.
All right. In the House of Representatives.
There you go.
In the House of Representatives, according to the law, I stand to be corrected. You need two-third majority to pass the national instrument, which is the budget. Two-third majority of 73 people, mathematically is 48.6. So we don't have a half human being. We round it up to 49. They need a 49 person to pass this law. They have 40 person that passed the law. This House of Representatives is notorious for illegally doing things. And the president says he will work with the majority black. The very majority black again has illegally done something again. They need 49 votes to pass the budget. In the Senate, they need a Senate two-third majority.
Isn't that why the
30,
regime? Isn't that why the
gonna be
regime
20
speaker was
senators.
pressuring the press? Mr.
They
Gay?
need 20 senators to pass the national budget. They don't need 16. 16 is simple majority. Folks, Liberia has a bicameral legislature, and by which two-third majority is required to pass the national budget in each house. These guys just did it again. Illegal job. 40 people voted, 2% voted again. Mr. Kamara, you laughing? Quote the law that I'm wrong, what I'm saying.
So why did you for me for? I answered nothing to you. They say,
but I mean, 40 people voted for the national budget in the House of Representatives. It's supposed
You're not
to
saying
be
something, but you're laughing something.
but it's not picking for me. I answered nothing to the man. It's just picking
no,
for
but
me.
you're laughing. I'm speaking.
You look suspicious. You look suspicious.
So I mean, now the fact here is that whether you like it or not, this administration doesn't have a clear-cut plan to move Liberia forward. Yes, why? With the national budget, they factor in the signature bonus of the extension of a Metal Steel deal of the 25 years, the 200 million. That money will not come every year. So if you factor that in the 1.2 billion, it has to be forecast in 2027, which of course is not going to be there. It has to be forecast in 2028, which of course is not going to be there. So you cannot base your budgeting all this kind of, situation where you are not too sure you're going to have this. You forecast in the national budget that $10 million will be generated on asset recovery. Those of you who in the area of asset recovery, you know that it's not an event, it's a process. There's no guarantee that the government will recuperate $10 million next year. It's not guaranteed that they're going to be able to get $10 million from asset recovery. But it's outlined in this $1.2 billion that they will have $10 million. NPA, in the first 6 months of NPA in 2024, they generated $2 million and gave to the government. Since then, NPA did not contribute anything to the national power in 2024. After that, in 2025, the same thing. We come to our RIA. They are not doing that job. LEC, same thing. All the SOEs that's supposed to be revenue generating arms of the government to buttress the national covers, they are not bringing in the money they're supposed to bring in. Instead of the government focusing on area that it can generate money, put some money into tourism, they listed Rabosport as the third best area to serve in the world. Rabosport. The wave condition there is better. We don't have professional server in Liberia, but guess what? We can use that place and bring people in to serve, use our spot, do that serving, pay the Liberian government for that space, for that tournament. They recognize Liberia to have that area to be one of the third area in the world. Good serving spot. These are things that we can explore. Everything don't have to be extracted industry alone, right? But we are chasing hand out upon hand out upon hand out. And then people want to go on Facebook and post Gafwan is the best finance minister because MCC grant is coming in when the CDC did that work. It's that Gafwan work that rewarded Liberia the grant. Okay? So this kind of thing is not good. Look, Mr. Kamara, you're enjoying the benefit of the hard work of other lawmakers in this country. This company that we all work for is because of these guys in Washington, D.C. work that they're doing. That gave the private sector the environment to invest and expand and for us to have employment. That same thing also can be replicated in Liberia. If we have men and women in the legislature who put the country first, they will do things that will create the atmosphere for investors to come in the country to invest. But when all they think about, like somebody wrote today, I think Leo Johnson wrote today, NPA get new building, CBL get new building. What's the name? NAFTA get new building. NOCA get new building. But look at the University of Liberia. Look at it. That was the post from Leo Johnson today.
All right, thank you.
Right. So for us to sit here and pretend as though that the country is going the right direction and we just here to be complaining, that's not fair, Mr. Kamara. What we ought to do here as citizens of Liberia, we ought to hold our government officials accountable. Even with this new district thing they're talking about, 2 districts in Grand Jida County of the same number, 34,000 each, Kavala and Putu. But guess what? They only listed Kavala and left out Putu. Each of them have 34,000 each. So why they pick and choose? And they're not even focused on what they want to do. They're just guessing and guessing and guessing.
Thank you. We got 30 seconds to land. Let's go.
So,
No,
my conclusion here is that this national budget should not be passed. But unfortunately, that's my opinion. It's going to be passed because these guys don't care about our people. Delon is talking about salary reduction. When you just enumerated that they get 20,000 constituency visit. They don't write in Maserado. How far is he going to drive and you need $2,000 gasoline? Right in Maserado. I mean, every committee room they go set in, they have to pay them for their own job. They're already getting paid from the game. Every committee setting, they get paid. Every confirmation hearing, they get paid. Visiting your own constituent, you get paid. Then you talk about salary reduction. Here's what I say. The $11.8 million that you get it for legislative projects, that project money, take it back and put it towards civil service salary, and see if you'll not be able to pay them $300 or $400 US a month.
Excellent, guys. We have gone over our time. Let me go to Dr. Booty for his closing so we can get out of here. My head is in Liberia now, not here. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gateman. Look, thank you tonight. It's been great. Aliu, even though you say some things that confuse us all the time, but it's good having you here, at least, you know, and yeah, I'm grateful to everyone for all of your ideas today. It's been a great show. I just want to address quickly, because my internet, for some reason, just been acting up tonight, right? At some point, I did support President Bouakai, right? 2017, I was in Liberia, October and November. And the late Wesley Johnson was supposed to broker an appointment with the vice president at the time, and he kept canceling, which is why we didn't bring the consortium to Liberia to support his candidacy. However, once he attained the age that he attained before the 2023 election, I felt he did not have the ability. Not only that, but all of the things that he did throughout the 6 years of George Weah, in terms of how he didn't really question what was going on. He was just there, not making any contributions, made me think that maybe he's not the right person. I had hoped that Cummings or someone else would have been elected in 2023. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I don't hate the president, right? I disagree with him. Clearly, his track record, we can see it. It hasn't, like, nothing better has happened in Liberia that we can shout about compared to the 6 years before. So no, I'm not a hater of the president. I wish him well. He's a human being. I always want the best for him. But I'm a passionate Liberian. I love my country and I want to see it better, which is why I come on here and share my ideas. But it's been a great show. We look to see how this health MOU will help our country. I don't believe it will. I think it is another example of, and Mr. Tao touched on this, the Americans, most of the software, most of the hardware will be bought from the US. Most of the salaries will be paid to the expats that it will get repatriated back to the US. So that money is not coming to Liberia. Only like 5 or 10% will come to build infrastructure in Liberia. So we shouldn't be jumping around because we wouldn't see any tangible benefits. The Americans will have all of the benefits because there is no free money. There's nothing in this world that is free. And all of us here, I'm sure your grandparents at some point told you that, no free money. All right, but thank you again. And unfortunately, we'll miss you, Mr. Gayman. When you're going to Liberia, I'll try and engage you while you're there. But yeah, we look forward to welcoming you back in January.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tao.
Oh boy.
Yes, good show. The MOU should be completely canceled. We should stop talking to the Americans concerning that. Let them solve their own health problems. The people are going broke here, health care. They're cutting it. They can't even help their own people, so they can't help you. That is the reality. Or if the Americans want to engage us, let them try not to be deceptive and hypocritical. Let them engage us like the way other people, the Chinese and other people engage us. Let's do real business. Come to us, hey, we need some iron ore. Let us put an actual price on it based on what we want, and let us do equal and fair business. I know it's impossible for them because the arrogance of the West and the way they have operated, their crimogenic society, the inception became criminally, so they can't do anything anyway in any other way. I'm not saying this, I'm not quoting this out of thin air. Their history is there. They came here to genocide all of the people here. That's how the society began. They took the land and then they wrote all kinds of stories. They came to Africa. You see what they did there. We should always have a grasp of this history. Let us not give this history up because it is only history that guides you. We are the only people in the world that we are told that we should forget about our history. So as a result, we don't see our enemies. Having an enemy don't mean that you go around hitting everybody, but then that it make you to make better decisions when you're engaging people so that you don't have to see pitfalls. But we don't do that. We celebrate somebody else's July 4th. We celebrated somebody else's Mao's Day and this and Kaaba Day in Saudi Arabia. That's somebody else's history. But we leave ours and we say it's not important. Oh, it happened back there. When did 1776 happen? Was it yesterday? But we celebrate it. When did the British capture this one, do this one? We celebrate it. But when it comes to ours, they tell us for us to forget about it. History is the compass in human geography that guide you to let you know who you were, where you are, and where you must go. It guides you. And the reason that we are constantly in this loop is because we forget our history. And or we don't even value it to be anything, guys. We have better ways that we've ruled. Go and look at a history. We once ruled the world. Everything is still there. If we want a form of government, look within your society. We want to preserve our forests. We shouldn't listen to some guy from Sweden, some guy from England. They don't have forests there. The forests were preserved by our people in Liberia. Go to them in the villages and towns. What method did you use for you to hold on to this forest all this time? That's the people you should go to. Those are the experts. Not some guy from London or from Washington, D.C. This is the reality. But I'm just saying all this stuff to say we keep running. This is why we're in the circle. We run everywhere else. And we don't, so we never look to help ourselves because we don't believe that we've been told. We're looking for witchcraft. This is the greatest witchcraft. How was somebody able to convince us that there is nothing good and useful about ourselves? And we actually accepted this stuff. So if you're looking for witchcraft, don't look in the villages and towns. It is not the African culture and tradition or way of life that is making us to struggle because they're nowhere close to the governing system.
Thank you.
All governments in Africa are foreign. And so they serve foreign interest because the structure and form of government are foreign to the land. So they're going to always pledge allegiance. Like you who are Christian, when Jesus crossed the river and he saw this man that was possessed with demon, and the man was cutting himself and doing everything else. And they asked him, and he said, when the demon possesses you, the man will even sacrifice his own body if he has to appease that demon at the end of the day. And that is what we are doing. We sacrifice ourselves continuously because of this spirit that has been implanted in us. We need deliverance. We are possessed.
Thank you. I didn't know. I didn't know a non-Christian will quote a Christian Bible verse. Hey,
all of the religion.
Oh yeah, always the case.
Let me go to. No, I gotta keep Kamara almost alive before he accused me of sabotage.
No, let me go.
No, you're not going.
When you go, you will leave the show.
You're not going. I will keep you.
Leave the show. I don't want to listen to us.
We'll keep you as long as we have kept Joseph Walker around. We'll keep you here. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind Mr. Tao, if he's looking for witchcraft, he should go to DJ Blue. He already announced himself.
He got Goa.
He got Goa. For anybody who will cut his pay. That's right. So I'm not gonna go on a health MOU. I agree with Mr. Tao and Dr. Budi. Everything else that has been said. I think we need to be careful. What agreements we subject our nation to. I think there are a lot of questions about this MOU. Anthony mentioned the HIPAA and all of that. So there are a lot of questions about it. I'll leave it there. But the budget, it concerns a lot of us because the budget is an expression of the government's intention for its people. If you are passing a $1.2 billion budget and you're going to put $1 billion toward Jolly Jolly, right? Scratch card, $2,000 in gasoline to a senator. Where are you going to use this? Apparently, this is about 500 gallons. Even if you're driving from Harper to Monrovia to come to work every day, you're going to use 500 gallons of gasoline per month. I think it's crazy. I think it makes us look bad. And no wonder why when we go out, to try to bring in help, people are shunning us because the people that research us, they see how we live, how we spend our money, and that's why you got Sweden and other people. All right, so I gotta take the call. This is the PR calling me. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you later.
Okay, cool. Anthony Gay.
Yes, sir. A great topic. Like Mr. Eastman said earlier, there is some good benefit in what is proposed in the MOU. I get it, but that benefit can be harnessed through our Liberian resources. We don't need the United States MOU to be able to improve our healthcare, system by digitizing medical records, by investing into medical preventative care and all of that. We already have MPhil. Ebola time, MPhil was built, and today we have some of the best laboratory over there and scientists there. They can expand that area, invest more and more in our country. We can afford $20 million every year investment into our medical sector. And we can do all of what the US is asking us to do. It's like what they do with IMF. IMF come to Liberia and tell her what to do. Why am I freezing?
Go ahead.
Don't jam me my stuff, man.
We see you.
Yeah, the Americans say you're talking
on
against
my
the
screen here.
too much.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Something is going on. Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
And see you. Yeah, see you.
Okay. It's my microphone. The battery went there.
Oh. What you see? You see
microphone.
You see the ANC people? You see why they got 1%? You see why the ANC got 1%?
Microphone.
This man say he's a tech man.
Oh my God! I got a second one.
Oh.
Hey,
All right, let me go ahead. I gotta go.
Yeah, why he put it battery? I
Let
mean,
me go.
the man is a battery total. Go ahead, Kamara. Go ahead and close.
Okay. First of all, let me just say, wow. Tao, I hope you got everything prepared for a 7 like bro, because the day Donald Trump lay hand on you, boy, it would not be easy. But anyways, I like
my consciousness. Let me
I
let you
like
know.
to. Okay, I hear you with Nelson Mandela. Look, I like to suggest to people instead of just talking, act. We saw what happened in Kenya. The Kenyans went on social media, it wasn't cutting it. They thought they had a legal issue with that MOU, and so they went to the court of law, as far as the Supreme Court. So if you really think you have a legal argument to make on some of these things, our laws are not bad. You have to try them, test them. Even the legitimacy of somebody receiving $45,000 vehicle where there are not sufficient public transportations in the street. You have legal remedies to these things. But most of you are capable of talking, but not doing. And I want to reaffirm my previous comment that the budget is a very good budget. It is not an excellent budget. If you want to infuse the legislatures and their exorbitant other costs, then you're just trying to play around, because that is an existing issue that we've all complained about. Even people in the Unity Party today opposes that stuff. But the reality remains, what do? The law is written, and the only people who can bring referendum to bear are the very people who pay themselves. So in order to change that law, it's going to require either a referendum or some kind of strength from the executive, a president who will be willing to go through some kind of a government shutdown, because that's what's going to happen. Because these guys will fight. They will fight with every bit of their sweat for that money. They ain't letting it go. So now listen, Joseph came to power at a very crucial time, when the country needs to be dug out of a hole. There's no time to fight with the legislatures. The time will come. The budget is good to the extent where most of the other areas like health and social welfare was increased. Agriculture was increased. Now we're talking about agriculture like as if to say only government spend money in agriculture. Agriculture has lots of money from other areas, and as we speak, they're still borrowing in. What they need to do, though, is to make sure that those resources, the benefit of those resources, reflect on the people, the living condition of the people. If you start importing more than half of what you imported 2 years ago, it means that the Ministry of Agriculture needs to double up. And that's something we all can admit to. But the budget is good. It's helping, even with a little increment in agriculture. We've had increment in Liberian agriculturalists. We have more Liberian farmers now than ever before. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in some small ways right now, which we expect at least for them to do a little bit more than what they're doing, in some small way right now, is helping. We hope they can double. I want to see agriculture budget from the national government to be 100 million. I want to see that. But again, there are people who are quenching these numbers, and we need to find ways to actually get in touch with them to find out what informed their decision, as opposed to just assuming stuff and claiming that we're saying the right things. And I want to close with this. Joseph Boakai, in a very long time, has been the best thing that has ever happened to Liberia in a very, very long time. You have a president who, first of all, stabilized the country, the economy. Money is in the banks. You put your money in, you take it out as you want. For those of you who have bank accounts in Liberia, you know what I'm talking about. The currency has not really over whatchamacallit. The value is still strong. In fact, in our region, we have the strongest currency. We have better currency than Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, Guinea, and even Nigeria. Okay? So that is also a great thing. Criminality has decreased under JNB. Drug has decreased under JNB, especially through the very new administration that he just put in place. Electricity is expanding and is becoming consistent. Water is going around as we speak. Right now, they are getting ready to start pumping Greenville with water, and economic activities are going. The country is peaceful and quiet. We understand that there are challenges. There were challenges from 1847, and those challenges.
You're talking too long.
No. Now you see when I'm getting somewhere, they deliberately try to attack me because they don't want us to promote the image of the Liberian government.
Can you read what on our
and so here's the thing. In closing, here is what I would say in closing. JMB is doing a marvelous piece of job, and because of this, we are intending to carry JMB in 2029 because he is what Liberia needs. And in order for us to move forward, the Liberian people on ground knows what I'm saying. They see it, they feel it, and they touch it. We political commentators and unsolicited pundits can say whatever we want to say. The people see the reality.
Thank you. He never told us where we taking JMB, whether it's a JFK or AB Anderson or Striker. He didn't tell us, but he said we're taking the.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. Striker is your choice. Honorable Eastman take us out because this man said Kamara too funny. Kamara, they say you're too funny the way you talk because you just say things like. You say the economy is improving, no number. Healthcare is improving, no number. Crime is decreasing, no number.
But it's not hard to put numbers on things, but the reality on the ground can tell.
I know.
The numbers are fake.
Man, when last you were in Liberia? Because
everybody was in Liberia in April. Everybody was closing you, and I said, I spent through all of your things.
When you were there, April 1st. They see where Joseph Boakai age is decreasing. He was older than Ellen Johnson said. Ellen Johnson was 87, and he just turned 80. Yeah.
Oh, there in April, you played a video here when we were getting married. You played a video here, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to get married, and you didn't invite someone else?
1971. Go ahead. That was 1971.
Okay, let me go. Some of us used to buy a pig in a bag. And when you buy a pig in a bag, you could get a snake. They fool Mr. Kamara. He went there. He even see the woman go marry a woman. But I would not.
But the woman says yes. I know the woman very well.
The first thing he saw, she was fat like hell. They said that. It's not what he sold you, but
I've been with the woman 6 years. 6 years.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Close. Let's go home, man.
So, you know, I would say a national budget is supposed to be a development tool, not a feeding trough.
Mm.
So until the priorities shift toward infrastructure, job creation, healthcare, education, and real economic stimulus, we'll be like this for a long time. Now, one thing we need, instead of having pundits like Mr. Kamara say, come up and talk, what we need to put some measurements. We don't have any way of measuring progress in Liberia. I think that is why people get away with saying we did this, we did that. We need some mechanisms to measure how far our investment money has gone, the differences between yesterday and today, and I think that will be essential. If we have those metrics in place, everybody will be working toward improving or being better than their predecessor. I think because we don't have that in place, it does us injustice. So one way we can be sure that people will start doing better if we start putting those mechanisms in place to measure each sector and how the government is performing in each sector. Just like the MCC is doing, we have our own measurement for progress. I think that will change the way we approach a lot of these national issues. I stop right there.
Thank you very much, John.
You know what they say.
Somebody sent some message for you yet. Read the message on the screen.
Kamara, I like this one. This one is special for you. Kamara can lie like 2 for 5 lapa.
We are